Hey friends, I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of an update. I know in my previous video I said that I was working on some homemade black powder with a different charcoal source. I've got all that made, I'm ready to go, but in the meantime this happened. Yeah, it looks pretty bad. My two Great Pyrenees, the Zip, the one I just showed, he's Great Pyrenees mix. The whole litter was Great Pyrenees mix, but he's the only one that did not look like a Great Pyrenees. And when we went to go pick out his sister, he just could not keep his eyes off of me. And it's like, crap. I think he's telling me I'm gonna go home with these people. So 2 weeks later we went back to pick up his sister, and once again he just could not keep his eyes off of me. He got out of the pen and he just followed me around, and so it's like, okay, we're taking two of them. So anyhow, on the Sunday morning that this happened, or the Sunday afternoon that this happened, the two dogs were in the backyard running around playing chasing each other, and I'm not sure what happened. I wasn't there, but he started yelping really loud like he had been injured, so I came out of the shop to see what was happening, and he had that long tear in his side. Apparently, when they were chasing each other, he got too close to one of the cedar trees that we have in the backyard, and it had a little bit of a branch sticking out. We kind of keep the trees trimmed a little bit so that when we have to mow the backyard, the riding tractor can get around the trees with ease. Well, lesson learned. If you're gonna delimb trees, cut them flush to the tree stalk itself, to the main tree, because that little bit sticking out is what he ran into, and it just ripped his entire side wide open. So anyhow, that was on a Sunday. We had to make an emergency trip to the veterinarian 50 miles away one way, and $1,100 later yeah, $1,100 later, we're back home. A couple of days after that, it was looking really bad. Now, the initial visit, the vet stapled the entire side back together, and you'll see that right here. So a couple days after that, it was looking really bad. I mean, it just, and he was like whimpering like he was in a lot of pain. Now initially we, got the pain pills, got all the antibiotics that we needed to give him to help him through this situation. And like I said, a couple days after that, it just seemed like the pain medicine wasn't working. So we made another trip to the vet. We upped the dosage of the pain medicine, and that worked good. Another $167 after that. Yeah, it's getting expensive now. But what we wouldn't do for our furry family friends, right? So anyhow, a week after the initial accident, the long chain of staples that kept the flesh together, the center of it started pulling apart. And what my wife and I surmise is that as the flesh was healing, it was pulling apart, and it actually pulled apart away from the staples. Now, let me just interject this. I have the stump, and on that stump is a clump of flesh with the hair still on that stump. And I'm not going to walk out and get it, and you're going to see why right now. Isn't it amazing? My wife stepped outside twice, came back into the house, and that buck stayed right out there feeding. Obviously keeping an eye on her and the dog, but like I've mentioned before in a previous video, these deer have gotten really used to seeing us, you know, walking through the yard, and they just stay there and feed. Cautiously, mind you, you can probably see that. But anyhow, you saw the dog coming back in, and you see what that wound looks like now. So on the third trip back to the vet, they actually had to cut out the section of staples that they weren't doing anything, and now their recommendation is we'll just leave the wound open, keep it clean. We are using feminine pads and taping it over the wound, and using antibiotics and things like that on it. So that's one reason why I haven't been out to finish the recording of the previous video that I'm working on right now regarding that homemade black powder with the with my secret charcoal. But you'll see that later, and of course you can see now where you got snow here and it's just not good conducive weather for shooting. So anyhow, I just kind of wanted to give you an update. Hopefully this coming week, the weather's supposed to get back up into the 40s again, and maybe I can get out and do something while my wife's taking care of the dogs. And yes, it's been a pain in the backside because we've got the two dogs, and obviously the one's got a cone on and the other one just wants to lick the wound clean, and we're just not having any of that. So anyhow, that's where I've been. That's what I've been doing. Just a word of caution: if you've got dogs running around in a backyard pen and you've got trees that you trim them close to the main tree itself so that they don't accidentally run into a little stub like this and rip their sides open. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.